I'm not sure I want to go 8-inch. Hello and welcome to the Andy of Astro YouTube channel. I made a bit of a mistake. I fell off my bicycle. I'm okay, it's all good. I was cycling to work and swerved to miss somebody coming out, going through a red light, and fell off my bike. So I've broken my scaphoid, but luckily it's a place where there's a reasonable amount of blood supply, so apparently that will heal in about 6 weeks. And this has been on since Wednesday and it's now Sunday. So yeah, I'm okay. But a bit unfortunate because I can't use my thumb, which means I can't lift anything. So I can't set up the telescopes, which is a bit of a shame. I'm okay, it doesn't hurt at all. I can wiggle my fingers, can't use my thumb obviously because it's in a cast. But you know, these things happen and you've got to look on the bright side. I could have been seriously hurt and I wasn't. I mean, it hurt, but it doesn't hurt now. So that's good. So 6 weeks takes me to about August the 6th-ish or thereabouts. But I'm okay, so it's all good. What I really would like to talk about though is how far should you go with upgrading a telescope before it's just not financially viable. Now, I know we could all argue that this hobby generally isn't financially viable. What I mean by that is it's a hobby, so you're effectively spending money on something which you enjoy. So therefore, in terms of the monetary value, if you're getting pleasure from it, obviously that's a good investment. What I mean is, how far, for example, should I take my 130 PDS telescopes? My 130 PDS telescopes have been heavily modified. I have 3D printed a mirror mask. I have 3D printed a new spider, and that has improved collimation hugely. And I've flocked the tubes, I've painted the mirrors, I've pretty much done everything I could to stop light leaks, so taping up around the focuser and so on. But what else could you do to a 130 PDS telescope to make it even better? Let's consider then the 130 PDS. This is the 130 PDS here, which I've added. Now the current price in First Light Optics is £239, and if you were to add a carbon fibre tube, that would be £265 as well. And then if you were to add a machined spider to improve collimation, that would be £135. So to get this telescope with a carbon fibre tube and also a CNC machined spider, it would be an eye-watering £647.95 delivered to your door. So that's including delivery. Now, is it worth spending that sort of money on a 130mm mirror? Please don't get me wrong. I love my 130 PDSs. I think they're great. I certainly didn't pay this sort of money. One of them was second hand. I think it was £100. And the other one was when it was cheaper, before COVID. So the prices have obviously gone up, as you would expect. But for £647, that's a lot of money. It got me thinking, is it actually worth putting on a carbon fibre tube and a CNC machined spider? I'm not sure it is for the value of the scope. So it's only a 13cm mirror, and with the mirror mask it goes in a little bit more. So let's say that's now 11 centimeters. That's probably a larger amount than it actually is. I'm not sure spending an extra £400. Admittedly, the tube would be carbon fibre, so it would be a lot more stable, and also the CNC machined spider would be a lot more stable. I'm just not sure it's worth spending £400 plus the cost of a 130 PDS. Now I know I own those already, but if you were to add it all together, it would actually come to over £600, which is a lot of money to spend on a small telescope. It got me thinking, which new telescopes are out there which have all of these bits added to them already, and would it be financially worthwhile just to buy an off-the-shelf telescope like this which already has a carbon fibre tube and a machined spider and so on. There are some new telescopes on the block which I'm very interested in. Now this telescope here is a 6-inch telescope, so that's effectively 150mm aperture, and it comes with a carbon fibre tube, and also it has a machined CNC secondary spider. So for £699 you get a bigger aperture, the carbon fibre tube, and also the CNC machined spider. And in addition, the 6-inch and the 8-inch versions of this are also baffled. So they've got baffles for preventing light bouncing around and reflections. It also comes with all of the bits to allow you to put a guide scope on top and also a Lost Mandy plate underneath. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Looks pretty good. The focal length of this is interesting as well because it's a 600mm focal length. So 130 PDS is 650mm, so this is a wider scope. It's also f4, so it's a bit faster than the f5 of a 130 PDS. I also like the fact it's relatively small, so it's 530mm. That's attractive to me because, having just broken my wrist, lifting hugely heavy telescopes and big telescopes at the moment is not something I even want to contemplate. So I think this particular telescope would be really interesting to try. It's 700 quid though. 700 quid? What do you reckon? Is it worth trying a telescope which I've not seen any reviews of yet? Interesting prospect though, interesting. And they also do an 8-inch version, essentially the same but bigger. So more bang for your buck, but your buck is actually £200 more. So it's now 900 and it's bigger. I'm not sure I want to go 8-inch. I don't know. I've got an 8-inch 1000mm scope. Now I already have this 8-inch telescope and it's okay. It's okay. It's not amazing. I don't get this out and think, wow, yeah, this is going to be just the telescope to use. I find the results are soft, and I suspect this is probably me and my workflows. Because of the way in which I have to work, I have relatively short amounts of time for imaging, and I also feel that perhaps this scope is a bit too big and a bit too heavy and a bit too gaudy to use. My setups are very much on the budget end, and I think it's very important to remember that you can spend the money and address these problems very easily. So for example, you could buy a very expensive Takahashi Newtonian and it will perform beautifully. I don't want to do that. I'm very keen to see what a, say, £460 telescope can actually deliver. I have learnt the hard way that clearly the more expensive telescopes are more stable, and clearly they deliver a higher resolution with the extra money that you spend. So it's a very difficult place to be in the budget end, because although there are some budget products which do deliver really well, you have to nurture and modify and constantly adjust the budget scopes because they're just not as stable as the more expensive and better engineered versions. I thought it would be fun just to look at 4 Newtonians, absolute extremes. These are huge extremes. This is a 130 PDS, 650mm focal length. It's a really good beginner's telescope. Out of the box, it absolutely needs to be tweaked. You have huge amounts of light leaks. The tube it flexes. The spider here at the front, in fact, you can actually see on that vein there, it's actually slightly bent. You know, there's nothing wrong with these telescopes. They are just built to a price, and the price is lower. And there's nothing wrong with these scopes. I have 2 of them, and I love them. They're great. You can also see that there's a gap there around the base of the focuser, and it's just a friction fit focuser, and these are just plastic. So that's the bottom end. That's where I am, 100% where I am. Let's dive in. So here we go. This is what I would consider probably where I would aspire to at the moment. I feel this is where I am. It's a £700 telescope. It's a carbon fibre tube, machined spider, much better focuser, generally a nicer scope. It'll be more stable because of the carbon fibre, so it will not have the temperature variations and expansion issues. It's just generally better engineered. Although at the moment, these Stella Lyra or Stella Lyra scopes from First Light Optics are GSO made. I do like GSO scopes. They are on the whole pretty good. My 8-inch Newtonian is a GSO. It's okay. I'm just not blown away with it. But I think this is a good mid-ground. Let's now dive into what I consider the next step with Newtonians. Now this one is from Sharpstar, and this one is currently on offer from Flow because it was used for product photography. Again, it's a beautiful telescope, and the machined spider at the front is beautiful. It's a lovely piece of engineering. The whole thing is just very well constructed. You can see the primary mirror there looks to be supported all the way around, as opposed to having mirror clips, so you wouldn't need a mirror mask. So again, beautiful telescope. This one, interestingly, I think is f2.8, so it's a very fast scope, and yeah, it's kind of the thing of dreams, and it's expensive. This one, although it's a kind of an ex-demo product, is still £1,100 as opposed to £1,495. Would I like to own this? Yes, 100%. That will be beautiful. Wide field scope. Really nice. Now, let's dive in to the Takahashi. Now, I always think this looks like it's from a 1960s, 70s sci-fi film. But look at the spider. And look at the metalwork. It is absolutely beautiful, and look at how well engineered the primary mirror support is. It's beautiful. It's really good. The one thing which I do find weird is the focusers always look a bit lacking. I've never used one. I'm not saying it is lacking. I'm genuinely not. I'm just saying it looks like it's lacking, but you have to remember these are absolutely precision instruments. And I can see from the engineering there at all of the knurled thumb screws and how the threads are cut. That's properly engineered. It's a beautiful, beautiful instrument. I'll never afford anything like that because it's just a lot of money to spend. But I'm so glad things like this are being made because they are stunning. But look, even the secondary mirror is just stunningly beautiful. And the optics in this will also be stunningly beautiful. So a scope like this, though, this is reduced, is £2,195. Now, I've chosen obviously extreme scopes. You simply cannot really compare a 130 PDS and a Takahashi, but you can learn from what the engineering has achieved on the Takahashi and try and improve the lower end scopes. And that's kind of what I have done with, I know it's just with 3D printing and so on, but I've always thought that the 130 PDS with a bit of tinkering can produce extraordinary results for its price tag. I suppose the question that I'm trying to say in this video is, what are the next steps? Because I feel I've gone as far as I can really with the 130 PDS scopes, and also with the 8-inch 1000mm telescope. And I'm kind of asking, what's the next steps to move things to the next level? And I'd be really interested to hear what your thoughts are on all of these scopes. And I've obviously gone for extremes here, from, a Takahashi all the way through to the budget end where I am. So I'd be really interested in your thoughts. Do you think Newtonians are the way to go? Or do you think it would be better to look at perhaps refractors? my garden, there's a lot of light pollution, and it's not a factor that I can control, because I can't control where lights are put or what the neighbours are doing, or generally what's happening in the town where I live. It's always a challenge, and Newtonians appear to be more susceptible to light pollution. I'd be very grateful for your thoughts generally, because I do feel as if there are things I could do which would be interesting and make good content, but I'm not sure they would improve things astrophotography wise. I kind of feel like I've gone as far as I can with the current Skywatcher scopes that I've got, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts are going forwards for things like Newtonians, or if I should start using refractors instead, if you think that would deliver better results. I'm quite intrigued by your general thoughts. Thank you so much to everybody who subscribed after my last video. I'm amazed. It was really good, so thank you so much. It just goes to show, when you say please like and subscribe, and then people do like and subscribe, I am very, very grateful to you. It makes an enormous difference to the channel. I can't tell you what the difference it makes. It's huge. So please do like and subscribe if you can. I'd be very grateful. Hopefully I will be on the mend fairly soon, and I'll be able to get some telescopes outside and bring you some more content. So thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.